It's showtime at Homestead, Miami.
Andre Baranowskis at the line, steals it in the Indy 250.
Logan to Baxter's in trouble, let it go. Gordon to the wall, jumps right around.
Side by side on the final lap, coming to the checkered flag.
Steve Morgan, the last lap pass, and the victory in Las Vegas.
Welcome to the NOFSRL.
Hello everybody, this is Napa Fan here, and this is race number 8 in season number 9 of the NOFSRL Chick-fil-A Cup Series. We are here at the Bristol Motor Speedway for the first time ever under the sunshine. Gonna be an interesting one here for the Krystal 500, 100 laps around the world's fastest half mile in Bristol, Tennessee. Got 42 drivers ready to go after it around this really fast and tight racetrack. It's going to be a wild one, our first short track of the season. I'm joined alongside Stuart Gratton for the call of this race here today. And Stuart, you've raced here many times before. You know how difficult it is. You know how pit strategy also comes into play. But the big thing at Bristol is the amount of cautions, and you got to work around that. So how do you work around it? I mean, if you're the race leader, if you're someone in the back, how do you avoid the accidents that might happen, and how do you get into a position to be in contention for the race victory at the end of the race?
Well, I think the big thing about avoiding, you just got to be careful. You know, you got to be mindful. You got to be aware of your surroundings. You got to be aware of, you know, you rely a lot on your spotter around here. And the key thing, you got to get yourself in a position. Chief has to make big call, like the correct call in terms of pit strategy, and you know and you just got to be aware of all the cars around you. And if you're not, it leads to trouble because this track is so compact.
And it definitely is, and we've already seen a few wrecks this weekend here at Bristol, especially in the Turkey Hill Series, where those guys just overshoot the corner and they come back down. There's not a lot of room to make a mistake here, and if you make a mistake, odds are you're not going to win this race. But when we went here last August for the night race, Sebastian Kugelon had a mistake happen to him, but it ended up working in his favor because he was the only one who was able to make it to the end on fuel. He got pushed down the pit lane at the top off on fuel and ended up winning the race for his first and only Chick-fil-A Cup Series race victory. We'll have to see if something like that happens today. We really don't know what to expect, too, because it's under the sunshine. The track conditions are a little bit different than what these guys are used to. We've gone to the night version for every single Bristol race up until now, so another difference in the race that we're going to see today. That'll definitely play a factor into who gets the race victory later on. This is how they line up in the championship standings. Bradley Ream is still the points leader, 227 points towards the championship, but Alexander Rowe is coming. Had a lot of great runs as of late, 2 wins already on the year, including the Daytona 500, 2 points behind. Reagan Whitlock, great season for Whitlock in the 92. He's 17 points behind. Shane Lake, another great season for him. You see both of those guys actually starting alongside each other in row number 2. Shane Lake is 29 points behind. Ryan Durrani, 33 points behind. Zachary Fitzwater, Nathan Baird, and Sam Adoskin, our last winner, all 36 points behind. And then Cody Sill and Diego Yepes, both 58 points behind. I don't know if I mentioned Whitlock is 17 points behind coming into this race here today. Nathan Stapleton with the fastest time in qualifying yesterday. A great run for Stapleton. His only other win in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series has come at Martinsville, another short track, so we'll have to see if he can get another short track win here today. Wyatt Quayle alongside him in the 39th. Great run for him for Trans-Tasman Racing. We got Shane Lake, the Atlanta winner, alongside Reagan Whitlock. Both of those guys have been having excellent seasons so far. Matt Delio has had a couple of great runs as of late. 2 straight top 10s for the 75 team. He's alongside our last winner, Sam Adoskin, in the 83. Eli Bright and Tristan Allen. Knock on wood. Tristan Allen still going for that first ever Chick-fil-A Cup Series race victory. Maybe today will be the day. But knowing the way things work out, it probably won't be. Cameron Garlington, one of the best starting positions he's had all season. He's last in the points right now in number 34, but great to see the Season 3 team get a good run in qualifying. He's going to be starting 9th alongside Ace Garcia. Get these guys to roll off here, and hopefully everyone will roll off. We'll have ourselves a good start to this race. And Stuart, you know all the guys in this series have been racing in this series and had a driver in the series for a long time. Who do you think is going to pull off the race victory here today at Bristol?
I feel like it's going to be someone that we don't really see coming. Someone that kind of runs mid-pack, that will just pop out of the blue and will steal the win. So someone like say a Trey Bartow, for example, who's a bit further back in the field.
Trey Bartow, that's what he's doing. Called a great race yesterday. Maybe you learned something from that Turkey Hill Series race he saw yesterday. We're just going to have to see. He starts midway through the field. Everybody's rolling off. We're ready to get this one started. It's going to be a wild one, 100 laps. We're green flag racing in the Krystal 500 at Bristol.
And to complete the first lap, Shane Lake goes to second, but the Stapleton car, 97, pulling away early on. Got a great start, and Wyatt Quayle on the outside falling back as here comes Whitlock in the 92.
Great run for Reagan Whitlock. That inside lane got a good advantage at the start. We definitely saw that with Shane Lake and Nathan Stapleton, but now the outside lane working a little bit there. Wyatt Quayle on the outside of Reagan Whitlock for third. Great run for him right there in the 39, not falling back all the way through the field. He got Eli Bright right behind him. Matt Gallio actually fell back a position after starting fifth. He's now sixth. Garlington advanced up a little bit. Great run for Dale Lightning so far in the 38. The last winner, Sam Askin, falling back a little bit in the 83 machine, but very nice and orderly so far here. In the first couple of laps at Bristol, Nathan Stapleton has led every lap so far. He's going to lead another one right here. Bonus point towards the championship for driver number 97.
Yeah, the top two have pulled away from the third place battle between Whitlock and Quayle, and Whitlock finally gets by, and here comes his teammate Eli Bright, 33, to the inside of Quayle, and he will clear off of turn number 4. It's an interesting one, Bristol. Sometimes we don't really know how it's going to play out today in terms of, you know, we've seen Quayle on the outside do a solid job holding up there for a while. It will be interesting to see how the sunshine compared to the night, how that impacts the race, the track.
Got Sam and Oskin trying to get around Tristan Allen. He got the outside lane to work right there as Allen had to check up just a little bit. That's just outside the top 10 and in the wall when Ace Garcia in the 81. And that's the first time we've seen that in this race where a driver has gotten stuck in that outside lane and has hit the outside wall. Another thing I'd like to mention, and it'll probably be broken here today, is we've gone 2 straight races caution-free in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. So, I highly, highly doubt that's going to happen here today, but this is the calmest we've ever seen anyone at Bristol before, so maybe they're just taking it a little bit easy knowing that the track conditions are a lot different than what they're used to.
Yeah, and then it'll probably come down to pit stops. Pit stops will come into play, and you never know. We might see some cars, you know, make late decisions to dive on a pit road with cars underneath, and that may be the start of the caution. We just don't know how this race. There's a lot of unknowns in this race, which makes it a bit different compared to previous seasons.
Eli Bright going to go ahead to 4th. Wyatt Quayle going to clear right there, and Dahlia remains in the 6th position. Garlington and Dale Lightning battling right there, and then you got Zachary Fitzwater right behind them. They're side by side, American Motorsport teammates. Lightning on the outside lane getting the best of Garlington, or trying to at least. And we saw it in the Hers Dash Series race when Mike Thompson had the run on Eric Monaco. He actually checked up on the inside, and you can definitely tell that Lightning was able to get a much better radius on the outside lane there than the 34. Got a good battle here for second. Reagan Whitlock has closed under the back bumper of Shane Lake for that second position, and he's going to try to ruffle his feathers and get around for another position.
And of course, being Bristol, we do expect to see some bump and run in this race at some point as well. That would not surprise me in the slightest.
It's going to be interesting to see how Reagan Whitlock can find a way around Shane Lake, if he can find a way around. Of course, we've seen all weekend how difficult passing has been. Might take lap traffic. I mean, that's what it took in the Hers Dash Series race, and already you see Gatlin Downey, who's at the back of the field right now, is actually 2 laps down. Something happened to him, and he had to come down the pit lane. And he might have fresher tires than these guys ahead of him, so that might help him out, but you see where he is right now at the end of the field, and you see Stapleton right there. I think they're about a straight away from each other, and we're only 15 laps into this race, but this might be the longest green flag run we've ever had to start off a Bristol race in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. Do you think there's any possible way this thing stays caution-free to the end, or do you think at some point somebody's going to make a mistake?
I honestly don't think so. I think someone will make a mistake somewhere along the line, and there will be a caution. Or you never know. There might be a car with a mechanical problem. We've seen that a couple times as well, and that could cause havoc on the racetrack. So I don't think at this stage this race stay caution-free.
One has him in the 64, falling back. He's deep in the field after winning at Homestead a few weeks ago. we got Eli Bright on the back bumper of Reagan Whitlock here, but we're single file through the majority of the field now. They've definitely strung out and figured things out here at Bristol, and this is something we don't tend to see. First side-by-side battle there between McMillan and Nathan Baird, and that's deep in the field right there. Looks like that's for 28th position. They're single file through every position ahead of that. So it's going to be interesting to see if it stays that way for a majority of this race, but if it stays green, the laps are going to click down very quickly. There goes Eli Bright. He's got a run on Whitlock. He's got a bumper on Whitlock. Oh, boy.
Oh, got to be careful. Don't want to wreck each other, particularly teammates. I mean, they're up front. They're battling for third. Both very good positions, and don't want to be wrecking each other so early on in the race as well.
Definitely not want to be doing that, especially as teammates, and especially considering, you know, Whitlock is really running well in the points. Currently third in the points standings coming into this race, only 17 points behind. You know, Whitlock has a chance of winning the championship for this team this year, and they definitely want that 92 to be in the chase. Of course, they'd love to have all three of their guys in the chase, and Eli Bright currently running fourth. It's definitely helping that cause out a little bit. Their other driver, Ryan Durrani, though, I think he's not doing bad either. Just inside the top 15, I should say, right in the 15th position. So pretty solid run right now for Ryan Durrani, and we're still early on in this race here, lap 23 of 100 at Bristol. We got Brett Sear here in the 04, right behind Sam and Oskin. Oskin really fell back. He started in the 6th position, now down to the 16th position right now in the 83.
Yeah, coming off a win last week, not the start that he wanted, but of course there is plenty of time. It is hard to pass, but so they're probably going to have to play the strategy game if this race continues to go green, like it probably will for at least the short-term future anyway. So probably strategy will come to play if he wants to get back up front, and along with a lot of these guys at the back as well, mid-pack to the back.
There's Sebastian Kukulon, the driver who won here at Bristol last season, and he was actually a very strong driver in the race, even though he was the only guy to stay out at the end. But he knows how to do it here at Bristol. Obviously, won last year. Currently midway through the field. I'll watch out for this team playing some strategy. They definitely learned a lot from that race last year and what happened to them. Back to the race lead, Stapleton continuing to pull away, but Wyatt Quayle's got a run on Reagan Whitlock, and Whitlock actually got passed by Eli Bright right there. And Eli Bright and even Shane Lake, they're starting to close in on Stapleton, and now this is where things I think are going to get a little interesting. Because they are closing in on the back of the field, and that's Alexander Rowe, who's 41st right now at the back of the field. Not at all what Alexander Rowe wanted in this race, especially considering the strong runs he has been getting so far. He's right now not going to be the points leader at the end of the day. No way he's going to be able to surpass anybody with that run.
And particularly with the 15 and the 92, both in the top 5, you know, they're probably jumping in points, so he needs to get himself going.
He definitely does. Of course, it's early on in the season, and the main goal right now is to make it into the chase, but if you have enough finishes like this, you're not going to be in the chase, and Alexander Rowe's got to be careful. He's a really solid driver. Had a tough season last year, but did get that one race victory at Rockingham, UK. But we'll have to see what Rowe can do in this race, maybe pull off a better finish. Eli Bright's looking pretty strong here, looking to close in on the number 15 of Shane Lake now for second. And we've gone the first 30 laps without a caution. But this is the first time we're going to be closing in on lap traffic, and we'll have green flag pit stops if this thing stays green. And odds are, the way this place is shaped, the way they come down, we could end up with a caution during that cycle, and if that happens, that's really going to mess with this field.
Absolutely. I think Eli Bright at the moment looks like he's got the best car, the 33. Got around Whitlock and really pulled away very quickly. Now he's all over the back of the 15. Looks like he's got the best car. He and Stapleton at the moment just look out of this world at the moment. But the 15's doing a good job. Shane Lake holding on to second.
Of course, it's difficult to make a pass here at Bristol. That might be why Shane Lake's able to stay in that second position for now, but Shane Lake does not seem as fast as Stapleton, but we're going to have to see if that changes here soon. I mean, tire wear also comes into effect here at Bristol, and imagine if we get a green flag pit stop here, they're going to be coming down for some fresh Goodyears, and that'll definitely affect who gets the stronger run. Because, you know, when we get a green flag cycle of pit stops, if it stays green the whole way through, there's a good chance that Stapleton might not be the race leader at the end of all that. We're going to see some strategy, and we see a bunch of double wide ahead of Stapleton. I mean, I'm sure he's seeing that ahead of him, is going like, how in the world am I going to get around all of this and not let those guys behind me catch up? Well, he's closing into him now. To the inside is Alexander Rowe going to try to lap him right here.
Yeah, I'm sure these lap cars are not going to move out the way for Stapleton. It's too early in the race to be doing that.
And this is going to slow Stapleton up a little bit, and this is where things can really get interesting for this race lead. Shane Lake in the 15 now starting to close in. They're bringing everybody in. Reagan Whitlock, Wyatt Quayle, Dale Lightning, Matt Dalio, nearly 4 seconds off, falling back a little bit. He's got Garlington, Stover, and Allen behind him, and Fitzwater. A lot of veterans right there in that line behind these guys. But Stapleton, he's got double wide lap traffic ahead of him. And the thing is, lap traffic's not slow. They're going just as fast as Stapleton is. They've just been caught behind everybody else, and they cannot get faster lap times in the 97. And now Shane Lake is all over the back bumper of the 97 for this race lead. Oh, boy.
Oh,
that was tight right there. Stapleton.
I think he definitely got him back.
He did. There was contact between Eli Bright and Shane Lake right there. Stapleton will get around the number 7 of Fisher G. And Fisher G will be the second driver a lap down. Of course, Gatlin Downey had an issue, and he's already a lap down. But you see him, he's not too far behind. Or should I say not too far ahead of Fisher G right here. But Fisher G will, in fact, go out of the way for these guys. He's got to be careful not to hit that outside wall right there.
You hit the wall off of turn 4. You bounce down the racetrack. It's probably the worst place to hit on the racetrack, particularly as well as turn 2. They're the worst 2 spots to hit the wall. You bounce down and you can come back into traffic, and that can be a problem.
So Eli Bright to third, still in third place, I should say. They're slowing down, and he's coming down the pit lane. So if that's the case, this is going to be a 2-stop race. But Eli Bright, the first to come down here, that'll definitely make things interesting, especially if this thing stays green.
I like the call. I do like the call, because usually coming down a pit road, and this is not just Bristol, but anywhere, the amount of cars that usually come down at the same time, it can cause you to slow down a bit, can cause you to get slower stops. So I like the call from Bright. I like the decision.
And this will most likely be a 2-stop race for everybody. See Stapleton now coming down as well. And this is going to be a challenge for these drivers. I mean, there are cars all throughout the racetrack here at Bristol, and if you don't merge on correctly, or merge back on the racetrack correctly, there are going to be some issues. So we'll have to see how it all plays out. Race leader right now, at least that last lap was Shane Lake, but everything's all over the place right now here at Bristol. But green flag pit stops here in the Krystal 500. It'll be interesting to see how it all plays out for these guys.
Absolutely. See Barter coming back on the racetrack, and the 22 is just looking to gain some laps back after the early issues and hoping for some reason a caution comes out, but I don't think he'll get that.
Bright gets around number 97 and Nathan Stapleton. I don't exactly know where he is right now, but you got Eli Bright and Reagan Whitlock close to each other right there, and then you got the second set of guys coming off. We're going to have to wait. There's Stapleton.
There's Stapleton. I think he's had a very good pit stop, or he's fallen back. That's one of the...
By the looks of it, I think he's going to be the race leader, and he will be. And he's going to have a significant lead once this whole thing cycles through. He's got a 3-second lead on Eli Bright. A lot of lap cars in between Stapleton and Bright now, and now it's all over the place here at Bristol. Eli Bright currently running second, but Stapleton out ahead by 3.5 seconds.
Great pit stop by the 97 crew. They look, in qualifying, they look like they got the fastest car, and they gets the good pit stop there and miles ahead of Eli Bright, but still plenty of laps to go. They will have to do another pit stop. That is inevitable. So, never know. Could completely flip on its head again. So, wait and see.
So we got now 29 guys on the lead lap. Josh Williamson's the first guy a lap down in the 67. And even if we end up with a caution, there are going to be all these lap cars in between our race leader and Eli Bright. And Bright, he's going to continue to lose time with all these lap cars ahead of him. Now then again, that's not to say that Stapleton won't lose time. He's in the middle of lap traffic as well. Everyone's in the middle of lap traffic at this point. So it's going to be interesting to see if Eli Bright finds a way to gain some speed on this 97. But we're going to be halfway right here in the Krystal 500. Halfway and caution-free here at Bristol. Nathan Stapleton has led all but a few laps, and those few laps were during the pit cycle.
Got to be careful, though, around these lap cars. He nearly got in the back of the 12 there of Faden. Got to be careful. You don't want to wreck a guy with this big of a lead.
Nathan Faden almost won the Hearst Dash Series race on Thursday, but did not really work out his way.
Oh, they're all over the back of each other, these guys.
He's looking to the inside, and he's got Williamson in his back bumper, and he just can't seem to get the run on the number 12 machine. And you never know. I mean, I know we've gone caution free throughout this whole race so far, but there is still that possibility that someone could get spun around, and one little spin will trigger the yellow flag. They're side by side back in here.
Cautions breed cautions.
Exactly. That's another thing, too. We get a restart. Those guys are going to be right on each other, and especially with all the lap traffic, it could really get interesting. That's if we get a caution. I mean, the way this race has gone, I'm wondering if we will get one. Side by side, Gatlin Downey, slightly fresher tires than the 67 here. He might actually try to get around Nathan Stapleton as well. But all Stapleton really has to do is at this point is just kind of hold his ground. He's not really losing that much time. I mean, the less time you're side by side with someone, the faster you're going to go. And, you know, Eli Bright is closing in a little bit in the number 33. There's still maybe like 8 guys in between him and Nathan Stapleton.
Absolutely, and listen, you just gotta, for Bright, he's got to start making some moves. You've got to get around these guys. You've got to put yourself in position to at least challenge the 97, and he hasn't been able to do that. He's got to, I don't know what he's got to do to keep going, but he's just got to start making some moves. That's what he's got to do.
Gatlin Downey looking to get to the inside of Nathan Stapleton here. I think we definitely have seen throughout the whole weekend that it's difficult to make a run on someone, especially as the tires wear out, because that outside lane works so much better when the tires are worn. But Downey might still have a shot here. He's got slightly fresher tires than that number 97 ahead of him, and we'll have to see if he finds a way around him. That could definitely affect Stapleton because he could lose a few positions if he gets stuck in that outside lane.
Yeah, you've got to be careful here if you're Stapleton. I know he's got about a nearly 4-second lead at this point, but you just can't get too involved with these guys. They're racing their own race. You've got to race your own race. And Stapleton at the moment, he's miles ahead of Eli Bright.
Sammy going to try get. Oh boy, that was close right there. We've seen it happen a couple of times in this race where they've gotten a little loose off the corner and almost spun each other out. I'm surprised with how long we've gone under the green flag and how many times we've seen that it actually hasn't led to a spin. This thing's closing down fast, but you know, like you mentioned, we're going to have another stop in this race because they came down before halfway, and that means they're going to have to make another stop regardless if a caution comes out or not. If a caution were to come out now, that would work out perfectly for everyone because they'd be able to make it to the end of the race without having to make another stop. But we'll have to see if that happens. We got some side-by-side back in here. Troxel and Durrani, they've been going after it for a while here. That is for the 18th position. Ace Garcia moving to the inside here, but you never know. We got Durrani sliding up the racetrack there.
Yeah, he's fallen back a little bit. I think he had a tardy pit stop because he was in the top 10, I think, from memory. So,
it was 15 at one point, but he has lost a bit of ground right there. Actually lost 2 positions right there, both to Ace Garcia and Thomas Troxel. Got some moving back here, Matt Dallio and Dale Lightning. That's for the 10th position. Dallio's going to take that away from Dale Lightning. Great move for Dallio. Keegan Thompson's lap down. Of course, Alexander Rose also lap down. Brad Stover right behind Shane Lake. Shane Lake lost some ground there, and this is a hornet's nest.
Yeah, this could get ugly if they're not careful here.
So a bunch of lap qualifying. Cody Sill really went wide off the corner there, and Sill's a lap down. Not had a good race in that 37. He comes into this race barely inside the chase, but with the run he's getting so far in this one, odds are he won't be in the chase at the end of the day.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's been a very interesting race. You know, you got a lot of got to be careful there. That was Quayle and G nearly getting into each other. But yeah, I mean, you got all these lap cars surrounded by faster, lead lap cars that are faster. You got to be careful here.
Looks like they're starting to figure it out a little bit. Great run for Cameron Garlington so far. Top 5 run for him. That'd be his first top 5, maybe even his first top 10 of the year. And Stapleton has come down. This is interesting. Is this a scheduled stop for Stapleton or what? That's a bit of strategy off the 97 team, and I'm wondering if they're doing that to kind of fake everybody out. Eli Bright's going to take the race lead away from him. And Stapleton's going to be a couple laps down now.
And if you're Stapleton, you do not want a caution at this point. That's the last thing you want.
Yeah, if a caution comes out, he's going to be caught a lap down, and that is a very interesting strategy. Out of the number 97 of Nathan Stapleton. Oh, in the wall! Oh! Brad Stover hit it hard! He keeps on going, though. But you see the damage to that number 99 machine. I mean, that just shows it right there. At any point in this race, even though we've been caution-free up to this point, a caution could come out, and Stapleton has really got to be careful. I mean, it's nothing Stapleton can do at this point. He's got to hope everyone else is careful.
You got to wonder if that was even a scheduled stop, though, because no one else come down. So maybe that wasn't a scheduled stop for the 97.
There's a possibility that a tire could have been going down. However, if this does stay green, it will still work out in Stapleton's favor, so we're going to have to see how it plays out. He's right now, though, 40th on the racetrack. Unbelievable for Nathan Stapleton, who was dominating this race. And he's just got to hope now that a caution does not come out and this thing stays green and he can cycle back to the front. If we get another caution-free race, I'm telling you, things have, I mean, I know the whole world's on fire, but the Chick-fil-A Cup Series has really calmed down since all that started. We've had one caution. If this goes caution-free, we've only had one caution in the last 4 races of the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. They have been keeping it very clean.
They have tried to wreck, though, multiple times. You see the damage on the 99, and seen a couple guys get into the back of each other. I think the thing with Stapleton as well, will he be able to make it to the end anyway?
Yeah, he will. The fuel one was about 40-some laps, and he came with about 30-some laps to go, so he will be able to make it. But now, the battle for the effective race lead, there is no lap traffic in between Eli Bright and Reagan Whitlock. Whitlock's going to have a shot at getting to this 33 machine. This will be interesting.
Yeah, and I think if the 92, if he can continue in this position, he'll jump to the... Oh,
one has him, almost got in the Stapleton there. He did get in the Stapleton just a little bit and almost sent him around. I'm genuinely surprised that no one is wrecked in this race. I mean, the way they have been racing, we've seen it happen, almost happen, I should say, multiple times, but it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah. And Eli Bright, he is now the leader. He's got to be careful because Whitlock is coming. He's got to be careful with these lap cars because they are slowing him down, and Whitlock is coming in a hurry.
Now, Stapleton here, he's in the middle of lap traffic now, and that's really slowing him down, and Eli Bright's actually not too far behind. Bright to the outside of Ick1, or should I say Sam Oskin. That might open the door for Whitlock to get a run to the inside of the 33. 21 laps to go here at Bristol, and Eli Bright trying to make a move on Oskin on the outside lane. He might clear him here, and he will. He won't. Will now.
Yeah, he does now. Got it. So that's a lap car. That's a big move for Bright.
Him by.
That's a big move for Bright. Now he's got a car in between him and Whitlock, and now he can start to run away a little bit and hopefully pull out a bit of a gap, and the 83 can hold up the 92 a bit.
And those guys are teammates at Full Frontal Motorsports. A great day for these guys, especially for Eli Bright and Reagan Whitlock. Always want to watch throughout the whole field, see if something might happen on the racetrack. With all this double wide action, we've seen it happen a couple of times where they've gotten into each other a little bit. There's Stapleton in 97. Now, he's good to go to the end of the race, but the big question is, will Eli Bright and Reagan Whitlock pull off strategy, go fuel only? They can do that. There's only going to be a few laps left. If they do that, they should be able to get out ahead of Nathan Stapleton and have a shot at this race victory if this stays green.
I guess the thing for Stapleton that's a problem as well is he's mired in lap traffic too. He can't move forward like he wants to, and that's throwing up his progress as well on the 97. So in the end, it's probably, if there was a scheduled stop, it's a very interesting strategy, and we'll see if it pays off.
He's still 40th right now. Eli Bright in the middle of this madness right here. One has him going low, and he hit the apron just a little bit there, and Eli Bright's going to try to make a move on the outside of him. And Alonso's holding up Whitlock now, and they got double wide lap traffic in between the two leaders.
And they'll be coming down for pit stops soon, shortly.
There goes Eli Bright. They had to jam up on the brakes there. Whitlock's going to take the race lead. I mean, Whitlock can't even come down the pit lane yet. Garlington's going to come through here in the 34.
And the 95, Davidson's going to take the lead.
Garlington just hit the outside wall as the race leader. Garlington's got to be careful. John Hart pushing up into him. Garlington's now the race. Actually, Davidson, I believe, might be the race leader now. But who knows at this point? They're all over the place on the racetrack.
Eli Bright was the first one to come down last time as well. So we'll see how it works. He did jump up into second. He was, what, third or fourth?
Garlington is the race leader now, but he's yet to make his stop. He's stuck on the outside there for a while, had nothing that he can do. He's still going to stay out. He wants this thing to clear out. Garlington getting some bonus points, or getting a bonus point for leading a lap, I should say. Most laps led in this race has been Nathan Stapleton. We're going to have to see where he files in once this whole thing cycles through. This is getting interesting here at the... Oh, caution on the racetrack! We got a wreck. Iquan has him.
64.
And that, my friend, is why Garlington decided to stay out.
Garlington and Quayle are the big winners in that one.
They are the huge winners in that one. Garlington is a veteran in this series. He knows how these races play out, and our first caution on lap 90 of 100 in the Krystal 500. That is the longest green flag run in Napa fan history at the Bristol Motor Speedway right there. But that was interesting stuff going on as well. Now, Stapleton was close, but because Garlington stayed out, he was unable to get back on the lead lap. There's only going to be a few guys left on the lead lap after all this. Garlington and Quayle, a couple of those, they're coming down for their final stop right here.
Yeah, this could be for the win right here between these two guys, with the 34 and the 39.
And we knew this would be a possibility with that long green flag run that we ended up having. But that turned the whole race on its head. Of course, Stapleton's issue, that really changed things up. But even Eli Bright and Reagan Whitlock, they were two guys who were going to have a shot at this thing if the thing stayed green, and they're not going to have a shot. I mean, Eli Bright, you see him deep in the field. Meanwhile, we want to see who wins the race off of these guys. Looks like Garlington did it. Possibly. I don't know. They had to stop him, let everyone else by.
34.
There's only going to be, maybe, 4 drivers on the lead lap.
Told you they wouldn't make it all the way. There's always going to be a caution.
Wyatt Quayle is going to be right behind Cameron Garlington for this race lead.
Absolutely. And so, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen now. This is going to be a very interesting restart.
I think a lot of guys are going to end up on the tail end here. We're going to have to wait for it all to cycle through. We got a couple guys still on the pit lane there. Andrew Miller's third.
Yeah,
He
started. The 24 started last. He absolutely started last.
And you know what? Stapleton will rebound rather nicely. I think he's going to be 5th, but he's on the tail end. So that'll definitely play into effect on the point standings at least. Still a good day for him. Either way, we're going to have to see what happened to turn this race on its head. That was Iquan Haslam, the Homestead winner, who went around. First caution on lap 90 of the event here in the Krystal 500 at Bristol. And this is something that we were talking about too. Like during these green flag pit stops, you have someone trying to come down, someone who's staying out. I mean, Eli Bright is the guy who runs right into Haslam as Haslam comes down. Now, Haslam should not have come down in that situation. He was on the outside lane, and Bright was to his inside. But simple as that. Caution being triggered just because of 64. I mean, Mark Davidson. You got to feel bad for Davidson. He was just coming down the pit lane when that yellow flew.
Yeah, Whitlock as well, the 92. Those guys were up front. And yeah, it's actually very fortunate that Garlington and Quayle, they didn't get involved at all. So
yeah, they were close to actually hitting him right there. But thankfully for both Garlington and Quayle, they're going to be able to drive away from this and battle it out for the race win.
In the end, it's just a poor decision by the 64 to try and come down. Bright, I mean, not much Eli Bright could really do in that situation. And see how close it was to nearly being much worse than what it really was. So, yeah, just poor decision by the 64 to come down on the pit road in front of the 33. So, completely changed the race, the order, everything that we'd seen in this race, we thought was going to happen, has been completely flipped on its head. So,
yeah, and that's
crazy.
The name of the game when we come to Bristol. That's how it's always been. If this happened in other racetracks, you probably wouldn't be seeing this right now. But it's Bristol, baby. It's always been that crazy place we go to, and while it's not like it used to be where we have a wreck every 5 minutes, it's still a wild place, and we saw it right there, and pit strategy definitely coming into play, and Garlington and Quayle definitely with a great strategy. We're going to have to see how this restart goes, because Quayle is right behind Garlington. There's no lap traffic in between the two of them. Quayle could easily win this race ahead of the Season 3 champion. We're going to have to see. Let's get to the restart here in the Krystal 500 at Bristol. We're back here at the Bristol Motor Speedway. Next time around will be the green flag. And obviously, as you can tell by the leaderboard, this is a completely different race than what we had earlier on. Cameron Garlington is the race leader. It has been quite some time since Garlington's won a race in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. He's got a great opportunity here. Wyatt Quayle in the 39 is second. Another great opportunity for Wyatt Quayle. Andrew Miller, if something happens between the two of them, he's right there in third. Samet Oskin looking to back up that strong run he had at Texas. He's going to be fourth. They're all over the place. Green back in the air. And Garlington to the outside. Will he get the run on Quayle up there? Will Quayle get to the inside? Wyatt Quayle to the inside for the race lead. They're side by side for the top position at Bristol. But Garlington on the outside will lead that lap. 5 laps to go.
Quayle trying to stay with the 34 on the inside. 34 has help from Sykes in the 6. Still side by side going off into 3 and 4. Quayle in the 39 looking to try and get it. It's so
tough to work that inside in lap traffic. He led that lap right there, but Garlington trying to work that outside lane. Garlington knows this is a huge opportunity for him to get out of the last position in points. It's still going to be a good point save regardless, but he just lost the race lead to the number 92, or should I say to the number 39. Wyatt Quayle has taken it away with 3 laps to go, and now Garlington, oh, he'll clear Whitlock. Or will he? Yes, he will.
He does.
However, Wyatt Quayle's going to pass Eli Bright, put him a lap down. Garlington still hasn't cleared Whitlock yet. 2 laps to go for Wyatt Quayle at Bristol.
I think he's got it. I think he's got it in the bag with all the lap cars in between and the 34 on the outside.
Garlington's way too far behind, only unless Wyatt Quayle wrecks in this final lap. It is going to be Quayle's race to lose. White flag for the Krystal 500, and Wyatt Quayle in the 39. Looking for his second Chick-fil-A Cup Series race victory. In the midst of all the madness here at Bristol, he will survive. Garlington will finish second, but it'll be Wyatt Quayle going to victory lane at Bristol. That's a heartbreaker for Cameron Garlington. Led at the restart, but just simply did not have the race car to beat Wyatt Quayle. And a great run for Garlington nonetheless. His best finish of the season by far, but it's got a sting. He had such a good opportunity. But Wyatt Quayle, Cameron Garlington, Andrew Miller, Nathan Stapleton ended up finishing 4th. Something happened to Samet Oskin. He had to come down the pit lane at the end there. Finished 17th. Shane Lake, Matt Dalio, Eli Bright, and Reagan Whitlock still got top 10 runs. Nicolay Sykes and Herja Larvin Alonso coming out of nowhere for top 10 finishes. And my goodness, that was one heck of a race at the end, but one heck of a race all around. 1 caution in this event, lowest we've ever had at Bristol. And Wyatt Quayle getting it done in the end here in the Krystal 500.
Yeah, it got absolutely great win for Quayle. He was up front all day. It started from the outside pole, got the job done. You've got to feel a little bit, though, for guys like Stapleton and Bright and Whitlock, who were up there, up at the front all day, and they didn't get the results that they probably should have deserved. But a great win for Quayle. I was up there all day, and he deserved it. But shout out to Andrew Miller as well, finishing 3rd from 42nd on the grid.
Yeah, that's a huge one there for Andrew Miller, who came into this race 12th in points with the win, so he had the wild card to make it in, but he's definitely going to be inside the top 10 in points after this one, no doubt about it. For the points lead, this is going to be interesting because guys like Shane Lake and Reagan Whitlock got really good runs in this race, and I'm trying to look and see where Bradley Ream finished, and he did not get a good run. However, Alexander Rowe rebounded to 16th, so this is going to be a close one. I'm pretty sure Alexander Rowe is going to be the points leader at the end of this race, which is no surprise considering the season he had. See everyone in there. Everyone finished this race, surprisingly. Trey Bartso unfortunately finished last. There was so much going on there when that cycle was going on and the caution came out. It completely messed up the entire field. I mean, the guy who ended up causing the yellow finished 15th. Quan Asm there in the 64. A wild race, you know, that's why we love Bristol, that's why we come to Bristol. It's the only place where it gets like this, and it's fun. It really is. You know, it's I kind of hate it that it's a Chick-fil-A Cup Series race that ends up like this, but you know what? It is what it is. It's fun. And I'm sure Wyatt Quayle had a lot of fun in this race for Trans-Tasman Racing. I mean, your fellow Aussie getting the owner's win. Noah Clifton, I believe that's the first time he's ever won a race as an owner in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. Your teammate, Wyatt Quayle. Who am I kidding? So, great run for Wyatt Quayle in this race, but it's a great weekend overall here at Bristol.
Yeah, absolutely. I enjoyed it. Enjoyed both races that I did. Her Dash Series race was a very entertaining finish, and And again, very entertaining finish. It was a very sedate race, to be honest, very quiet. But in the end, the caution completely changed the race and made it very interesting at the end.
It definitely did. Well, next time we race in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series is going to be 2 weeks from now, as we take Easter weekend off in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. We're going to have the Cheerwine 400 at Rockingham. Going to up the laps at that race. That's always a fun one at Rockingham. Strategy plays out at that place as well, and the last 2 winners of that race have been Brad Stover and Daniel McMillan, a couple of veterans who know what they're doing. And it's a place where veterans tend to do a little bit better than the rookies. Of course, I know that doesn't really mean anything, but it's just the way it goes historically at Rockingham Speedway. And I'll be 2 weeks from now for the Cheerwine 400. And next week we'll have the Turkey Hill Series from Armory Digital. Enough said there. That's always a fun race when we head to the High Banks in Seattle, Washington. But either way, thank you guys so much for watching. Congratulations to Wild Quail, your race winner here at Bristol for his 2nd career Chick-fil-A Cup Series race victory. And here are the points for the Chick-fil-A Cup Series after 8 races. On behalf of Stuart Gratton, be safe out there, wash your hands, and stay inside as much as you can. I mean, if you have a backyard like I do, I recommend walking outside as well, getting some fresh air. That's really nice, especially in the northern hemisphere this time of year with spring in the air. I know for Stuart it's a little bit of a different story, but still, definitely be safe out there and just be as clean as you possibly can be, and we'll get through this. But either way, congratulations to Wild Quail, your race winner here at Bristol, and we'll see you guys 2 weeks from now at the Rockingham Speedway in North Carolina for the Cheerwine 400. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys later.